Hello guys, what's up? In today's video we are going to be criticizing highrealms. Now this is something that I was requested to do after I've done 2 videos or a couple more about highrealms. And in those videos I have made my own criticism about the game. So for this video I have decided to ask you guys, random people on DV's Discord server, which was a horrifying idea, to tell me your opinion about this game. And I even got DV to respond, so make sure you watch until the end. Also, like and subscribe if you like YouTubers that use their amazing sub count to contact other big YouTubers for their fans. Okay, we will be going over these opinions quickly because I'm sure you have a great attention span, but other people don't. And on the left I've darkened everything because there are private stuff there, obviously. Okay, so what I did with each one of these people is ask first of all if they're okay with talking about highrealms, and then I explained the context, and then I told them to tell me about their opinion about the game, which changes they want, compare it to islands. I asked them if they think it's like a simulator, because I said it is like one, and DV denied it, which quite surprised me. He just randomly stated that in a video, but alright. I also told them to tell me what they think about the game passes and the marketplace. Many people complain about the prices being unfair, and let's see. Okay, so the first person here is NTR, and they are saying, the shop Robux is very unfair, the prices are stupidly high for little rewards. The shop in-game currency is not that balanced and we should not sell blocks to freaking moolah. Crops harvesting need to have a proximity prompt or do what islands did. The guide on the side of the screen should be closable, UI needs to be changed, crafting UI is messy, they should do what islands did and put categories, and there are many more. Conclusion, the game really needs work, balancing prices on in-game shop and Roblox shop, plus it needs lots of quality of life changes. Then I asked if it's like a simulator, and they said, the game is not starter friendly, but as you progress, it's a bit balanced. Now to our next dude. Okay, so we have this guy here. OBS won't show us the name, and I don't remember it, obviously. I have a great sleep schedule. They said the starting quests are way too long. If you progress a step ahead before completing the current step, it does not track. Those are the two main problems I found when playing a little. Other than that, it seems great. About Robux, they don't mess with Robux. It's fine, I can understand. Okay, so I asked if it feels like a simulator, whereas you have to grind to complete similar tasks for long periods of time. Yes, I find it incredibly grindy, while an average player who takes it slow may find the quests fine. I believe they were way too slow paced. And now, one of the problems I've seen with highrealms is that except the tutorial, which is basically getting your tools to max level, you don't have anything else to do in the game except building. So I asked this dude what will he do after maxing his tools, and he said build a cool looking island, and after that, quit. Exactly. Now I asked if the game is better than Islands. Obviously, it's not supposed to be better than Islands yet, it's a new game, but still, not. And then I asked if the game to them is more like Islands or a simulator, and he said Islands, which makes sense. And then I recommended to them the watermelon seed strat, OP strat. Then we have this fish here, which gave us very long essays, but still lots of good suggestions. And even though it's long, it means it's even better. Now look, he said something very important here. I think the game is good and well made. However, it could improve in some areas. I played for a bit and some things that could be improved are the animations, certain textures, and the mobs along with their movement and fighting system. I don't like the /join command. It should be a menu option because some people may not know the chat commands. Now Divi, why did you add this command without saying anywhere that it exists? Regarding the game passes, I find some of them a bit pricey and I'm not a huge fan of how drastic some of the perks are, such as the Pro Backpack offering 8 times more unique item slots than what is available to free-to-play players. While I wouldn't call the game pay to win since the game passes mostly offer quality of life improvements, with the exception of coins, some of them do provide huge improvements to the gameplay. And for the comparison between Islands game passes and highrealms, I felt like Islands game passes felt more like add-ons to the game rather than huge quality improvements like highrealms, I guess. And Islands was a much bigger game. It doesn't make sense that highrealms will have worse game passes. that harm the player base. Then I ask the same simulator question and offer the way to improve Underlings, which basically is copying high pixels minions, because DV copied his game from Islands and from high pixel skyblock. He basically made a combo. The lore is copied from Elden Ring, so everything is copied except like the textures, I guess, and some of the design, but still. And there we go, Fishy says something important again. I have to say, I do like Islands tutorial where it gives you the basics and you're done in a few minutes. All the time I've played highrealms adds up to be hours and hours, and I'm still in the tutorial. And a lot of the quests don't even feel that useful or important for me to strive for. I like Underlings, but they're not very complex, and I'm not sure if that is what DV was going for, as he said he wanted the game to be inspired by Islands and not just copied. I think the simplicity for me is fine for now, and it does feel more unique and different from Islands, but I also love building farms. I also love building farms in Islands and experimenting with different things, so it would be cool if highrealms expanded more on them and added more complexity. Now you see, the grind he's talking about here of hours and hours is the whole game. That's it. The tutorial of getting the tools is everything you do in this game. Except that you can only build on your island, and that's it. After that, I guess you quit, because there's nothing else to do. Nothing, absolutely nothing. And stay at the end to see how DV responded to these opinions, because that will change how you look at highrealms completely. Then I asked this guy, well, if you could ask DV a question, what would you ask? Because I did contact DV to make this video. I thought it would only be fair if I let him see those opinions too before I upload them. And he had a question. He said, DV, how will you avoid duping? And DV does it by canceling or disabling trading completely. So yeah, that's the way. So even if someone dupes, it doesn't ruin the game. Nothing changes for everyone else. Okay, so now we have this guy. This guy is the beginner in highrealms. He doesn't know much, but he did a few quests and he did visit the forest and the caves, so that was enough for me. I did introduce myself, we did short talk. He did say it's grinding, the tutorial is not long, although I'm sure he hasn't finished it by now. And then I asked him if he checked the Roblox Store of the game, and he said yeah. And do you think the prices are fair? With a delay, he says no. I'm guessing he checked actually the store again, and he saw it's ridiculous. Now I asked him if it feels like a simulator. He said that it feels like a simulator and a tycoon mixed, which is true, I guess. Basically what he means here is that the combat isn't felt at all, and it's true. The combat is basically like clicking, you can't miss, you stand in your place, you are always going to be hit, there is no point in skill. Do you think it's better than Islands? No? Okay, so I feel like there is not much to do in the game besides build. Also, I think it needs some kind of trade system. It doesn't want more complex underlings, but he did say we should be able to upgrade them, which I agree on. It would reduce lag if you could, like, I don't know, stack underlings into each other. Like, let's say instead of having two different underlings, you could have a ×2 underling which produces ×2 wood, just faster. And if you could ask Divi a question, what would you ask? He said how to change the title thing above my head. It's quite simple. And then he suggested making private server have mines and no build. Also forest. Now we have this guy, he wrote a very bulky essay, so I will go over it quickly for you. The grinding and farming are at the perfect intensity, however, there needs to be a bit of balancing, so you're not encouraged to go purchase the items before crafting them. The mob sorts do this well. Crafting quests should have a reward outside obtaining the item itself to encourage doing them, as I have heard a lot of players just ignoring the quests entirely. Hostile mobs need balancing as they currently heavily encourage cheesing. They need attack animation so the attacks can be predictable and the player has the chance to dodge the attack. The mobs aggro and attack range should be reduced a bit too. They shouldn't chase you clear across an entire room and be able to hit you from a distance unless they have a visible attack that gives the player a chance to dodge. I think the marketplace prices are fair, with the exception of the gold. Gold is far too easy to get in the game to ever justify spending Robux on the amount of gold offered. I really enjoyed the Farlight hunt. That was a fun and creative way to get a stat boost. Is HR like a simulator? A simulator, in my mind, is a game that tries to simulate one task or job So not really. As far as comparing High Realms to Islands, they are very different games at the moment. High Realms is still very early release, so not really fair to compare a fully fledged out game to one that has just taken its first baby steps. I am really enjoying the game and I am looking forward to seeing where it goes next. What would I ask DV about HR? I would ask him to keep the updates coming because I look forward to seeing what he has planned. Now I asked him like I asked the others about the Underlings complexity, and he said they are fine the way they are. DV has taken inspiration from Islands but isn't trying to create an Islands clone. But then again, Underlings are copied from Minecraft Skyblock, and they are called their minions. So yeah, I do think that Underlings need to be a bit more complex. It would just make the game more interesting, because other than building after maxing out your tools, you will also be able to manage your underlings. Okay, now we have this dude, which I saved for last because his opinions are very emotional. He seems very angry. Okay, so it starts like this. Opinion. It's an okay game, but I don't like the UI that the game has, such as the inventory. I think that it could use an overhaul. The game could also use better animations for sword swinging. I was playing on an old and didn't like that starter sword just swinging around. It doesn't have unnecessary grinding for me at least, but I don't like how you can just buy things with the gold from the merchant. Because there is just a certain feeling that Islands has when you craft some super hard to get item, in early at least. Mobs 2 could use a ramp up in animation and at least different graphics, cause currently they look like an unfinished project, cause what is this? And don't get me started on those flame people, looks like a 2-year-old drew them and an animator was drunk, in YouTube terms. The fire people in the game need a rework, new design and new animations, and the portals too. They don't look like they really fit into the game. That's something I absolutely forgot to talk about. The portals their graphics are just much better than the rest of the game for some reason. I guess that DV really like portals. They have a totally different animation. I hate these two. Remove the cap for the blocks and inventory space. By the way, look. To expand your island size and to expand your backpack, two things that Islands is offering for free. They don't take any Robux for inventory space or island space. And with these accumulated Robux, this is 2200 Robux accumulated, you could buy a public island in Islands. And here you can just buy with it more inventory and a bigger island, more space for your island. That is a joke. Like, I ain't paying my life saving for two things Islands has for free. This guy is also talking about it. And Islands doesn't have this. It has bundles that if you want you can buy, but doesn't have an effect on gameplay, which is true. Roblox Store, that's the Roblox Store, that's a cash grab, like 400 Robux for 50 blocks. If I could ask him a question, I'd ask 3, here's my list. Who did you hire to make this game? Its animations and graphics suck. You have enough Robux, why is this a cash grab? And I'm censoring the rest because the rest is too offensive and he asked me to censor it. And here I also asked my friend about High Realms. He is very late game in High Realms. He has the watermelon farm, you know, everything rich people have. Now, my thoughts about High Realms as someone with 30 hours of playing included the FK time, especially FK. Pros. Clean looks, plus 1 point. Portals are cool, plus 1 point. Owners are very listening comparing to easy.gg, plus 20 points. We will talk about this. It's something that we have to address. Cons. Greed. Everything costs way too much, minus 20 points. The whole game is a grind, minus 100 points. Now, I made an announcement about making this video in my Discord server, and he just responded to it to help me out. So if you want, you can join my Discord server. Down below in the comments there is the link, and that way you can also participate in my events if you want, or just join regular videos. By the way, this video wasn't meant to offend DV in any kind of way, or to insult him, or to trash talk his game. This is just constructive criticism, and very well, we will now get to DV's response. Also, right before I show the response, I'm going to point out why I think this game is like a simulator. So if we look on Roblox Wiki, we can find the definition for a Roblox type simulator. And as you can see, as typical gameplay involves clicking, tapping, or holding repeatedly, or going up to a certain object to obtain some type of in-game item to reach a maximum that the player can hold. These actions is also known as grinding the in-game item. The in-game item can then be converted into an in-game currency, which can be used to buy improved upgrades to either hold more items or to gain the in-game currency at a faster rate. In some instances, different skins can also be purchased, usually for aesthetic-only purposes, but can be also used as a boost as well. Okay, so here's his response. It wasn't very hard to get. All I had to do is simply from highrealms Discord server, open a ticket, say that I'm a YouTuber and I'm making this video and I want to give them a chance to respond, and yeah, let them respond. So let's go over it. He pinged me saying, anyone is welcome to make videos on the game, both positive or negative. I've always stated that the game is not Islands and we are taking it in a different direction, and I don't expect every player to enjoy it. Making a game that everyone enjoys is never possible. Literally everyone enjoys various games for their own reasons. The game is currently in beta and improving to updates. I don't really plan on addressing each point of feedback given since we are busy with the game. Now what he's basically saying here is that he doesn't want to go over the opinions that I screenshotted and sent, just a couple of screenshots, because they are too busy with the game. And he also said that he should not go over the screenshots because making a game that everyone enjoys is never possible. DV, in almost all of these opinions, those people complained about similar stuff. And these opinions are constructive criticism for your game and you should not ignore them. Basically, avoiding what your fans say, those who are literally playing your game, is going to ruin your game and it's not looking good. So after he said that he won't look over the screenshots because he's too busy for it, somehow it's just looking over a couple of screenshots, takes at best 3 minutes because I did it with commentary and he just has to read them, or just maybe a couple of them. We won't be sharing negative videos in YouTube Vid's channel though, as it doesn't add anything in a meaningful way to this community, which is the point of the channel. Good luck with the video. I didn't ask him to share it on his server and I never expected it to actually happen. He just said this, I don't know why. My previous highrealms video were not shared on his server and they were at negative too. But I'm guessing that the videos that are shared there are only videos that say good stuff about the game or just about the gameplay, because they go under staff check for some reason. I don't know why. And then he responded to the picture of the request that I showed you earlier in this video, because that's the only one he bothered to check. So let's see. By the way, as far as to grindy, I disagree, except for mobile players, which is our next focus after Friday's update. You can literally get best tools in under a week. Many state it's not grindy enough. Again, my point, not everyone will agree. Now, 2 things. Most of the people I've asked, out of the late game, everyone said that the game is too grindy. And second of all, getting the best tools is the whole game. Alright, it's the whole tutorial. That's why it's too long. When you compare it to the tutorial of Islands, you know, it's like 3 minutes and then you can just go free. You can either go to a shop, a public shop, or you can go to the lobby, explore it a bit, farm on your island. You can do whatever you want. But these quests are just quests in Islands, and here in highrealms, they are everything, they are the whole game. And when you finish them in a week, you have nothing to do in this game anymore. All you can do is simply build on your island and then quit. And that's it. And DV himself said that this game, although it's his game and he is responsible for making decisions about it, was made because his fans asked him to make a game that will replace Islands now that Islands has dupes and was abandoned. Here you can see in this video.
This game would not exist if it wasn't for you asking me, DV, please make a game like Islands.
So DV did listen to his community and did start working on such game. But now he's not listening to his community when he gets suggestions? What? Apparently he's too busy. Even if you go to the suggestions channel on his server, you can see the Sickle upvote on the suggestions channel, right? With almost 500 upvotes. That's a lot. Even the staff don't get as much upvotes. And are there Sickles in the game? No. And when was this written? 19 days ago. So yeah, if you don't listen to your community after you're making the game that the community asked for, then the community is going to quit. eventually. Even if you're a famous YouTuber and you can advertise your game alone on the platform. You should look at what was said as constructive criticism and not just negative things, and learn from every opportunity you have. That's how you make a good game. About me making a YouTube series of this game, unfortunately, I'm going to leave this game and abandon it, because as you can see, everything you can do here is basically farm quests and then build. And not only that it's not good content, but also the game itself is not listening to its community, and I don't think it will have hope like that in the future. DV stated in the Answers and Questions channel of his Discord server that this game will not be getting trading, and people are begging for it. It won't happen. And we just have to live with it. You know, it's his game, it's his decisions. But I will try to shout out other games that are like Islands, that are do skyblock or farming type of games, you know, the good stuff. And maybe we'll find something great. If Divi will respond to this video somehow, or something interesting will happen with highrealms, then I will upload content about it, don't worry. But for now, I think it should be frozen. Again, it's not something against DV, it's nothing personal, really, just a game review. I wanted to see how he will react to these opinions before I upload them to YouTube, because that would only be fair. It's his game, and he decided to ignore them, it's fine. And if you like High Realms, continue playing, as if I'm supposed to tell you. Anyways, please like and subscribe if you like this video. I worked very hard on it and expect more to come soon.